Chapter 2, Section 2 is actually called Intro to Problem Solving. So this is your first introduction this semester to problem solving. And what I've done is I just typed up 4 questions, and we'll work those 4 questions together. And what you want to do is try to understand the question, translate the English to math, and then solve it. And typically you should check your work too. To start out with, let me ask you a couple questions really fast. In math, if I say the word is, what mathematical symbol do you replace the word is with? If I say 10 is equal to 2 times 5, we know is the equal sign. So it means equal. If you hear the word increase, any idea of the math symbol? Increase means add. And of course, decrease means subtract. And there'll probably be more, and as we come into them, we'll talk about them. But, another one is of. If you ever hear the word of in math, we're talking about multiply. So make sure you know that means multiply, not x. But there are some symbols that are some words that we can convert to math symbols really easily. And what we're going to do is try to solve these problems together. So it says, write an expression for the total amount of money in cents if there are y quarters, 7 times y dimes, and 2 times y subtract 1 nickels. And the hint is to use the value of quarters, nickels, and dimes. So we're just writing an expression. That means we don't have to solve it. We're not trying to get an answer. We just want an expression. So what we would do then, if we're going to use the value of quarters, nickels, and dimes, and we have y quarters, we know if we're talking about this in cents, we're going to times however many quarters we have by y, because that's how many quarters we have, times 25 cents. So however many quarters we have times 25 cents. And if we want the total amount of money, that's another English word that we're going to convert to math. Total means to add them up. So we're going to add to that the dimes. And I have 7 times y dimes. So however many quarters I have 7 times that in dimes. And if I use the value of dimes, I would just multiply that by then 10. And of course, I guess you probably know we're going to multiply the nickels by 5. And put that 5 in front so that you could easily distribute that. Even though I put the 10 last and the 25 first, I was kind of hit or miss, huh? But that is an expression, and that's all they want. They don't want you to solve anything, they just want you to write an expression. So you're done. Alright, the next problem says, this is a very typical exam question. So when you see one like this in your homework, pay attention to it. Say, give me another example. Do a few of them. Make sure you're good at it. This one says, a second number is 3 times the first. A third number is 50 more than the first. And then it tells you if their sum is 235, find the 3 numbers. So this one just wanted an expression. This one wants an answer. We need to tell them the 3 numbers. So I have 3 numbers, so maybe I'll make a space for those 3 numbers. And let's see what we know about it. We know that the third number is 50 more than the first. So right now, we don't know anything about the first, so we can call it X or K or H or whatever you like. It's just some unknown. But we do know now that the third number is 50 more than that. So whatever that is, we're going to add 50 to it, and that's our third number. Then it says, the second number, how did I miss that? A second number is 3 times the first. So I missed that. The third number is 50 more than the first, so that's that. And then our first sentence right there says, a second number is 3 times the first. So again, I don't know my first, but I know this one is 3 times that. Alright, so there's my first number, my second number, and my third number. I still don't know what they are, but I know that they add up to, that's another English word that we're going to use for math, they're sum. Sum means they add up. So they add up to, adding those 3 numbers, 235. And now we have an equation just like you just solved in 2.1. So you have 3x's. You can combine them because they are like terms. So 1x plus 3x plus 1x is 5x. And then I need to get my x alone. So, the furthest thing from x is 50. So I'll subtract 50 from both sides. And since I'm out of room, I'll just sneak that. Well, I could subtract 50 right there so you can see it. But we get, what do we get? 185. And you're almost done. Now you need to get x alone. So you're going to divide both sides by 5. And that was all, this part was new, writing the equation. But this is all review from last section. And so I'll bring this up here. So x equals, what is that, 337. So now let's check it and see if we're right. What we're saying is the first number is 37. That's what x is. The second number is 3 times that. So what is 37 times 3? 111. And then 50 plus that, so 87. Now let's add those up. Let's add 37 plus 111 plus 87 and see if they add up to 235. So 7 plus 8 plus 7 is 15, carry the 1, and then I've got 13, carry the 1, 235. So we know that we're right. So these are our numbers. And in this case, always, when you're done, always look at the question and make sure you answer the question. This one says find the 3 numbers. So we need all of those. Those are all our answers. Okay. All right. This one, find the measures of the angles of a triangle. Oh, right there I'm going to draw a triangle. Because anything you can draw in math helps. If it's an area, draw the rectangle, or the shape, whatever you're finding the area of. If it's a cone, draw a cone. This one's a triangle, so we're going to draw a triangle. It tells us that one angle measure is unknown, so let's just call that x. Another angle that is 3 times that angle. So that's just like this, isn't it? We know whatever this is, this one, another one, is 3 times it. And the third angle is 10 more than the unknown angle. So do you know what to write for that? So this angle is 10 more than this one. 10 more means we're going to add 10 to that, whatever that is. Now this requires a little bit of base knowledge. Hopefully you know, what do the angles in a triangle add up to? If you don't, they add up to 180. Always, always, always. They always add up to 180 degrees. And just for your information, if you have a circle, the degrees all the way from start to finish in the circle is 360 degrees. But, so this tells me that if I add those 3 angles up, they should add up to 180. So I have 3, 4, 5x plus 10 equals 180. And then we'll subtract 10 from both sides of our equal sign. So I now have 5x equals 170. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. And I get x equals 34, right? And 34 what? How should I label that? 34 degrees is the angles of a triangle. So if this one's 34 degrees, this one is plus 4, so 10, so it's 44 degrees. And this one is times 3. So 34 times 3 is 102 degrees. And if you wanted to check, you could make sure that those add up to 180 degrees. Alright, here's another one. In fact, this one's probably more important than this one. This is a common test exam. It says the sum of 3 consecutive odd integers. Consecutive just means in a row. So if I were counting, 4, 5, and 6 are consecutive numbers. 10, 11, 12 are consecutive numbers. This one wants consecutive odd integers. Integers means I'm not talking about 2.9 or 5/7, no fractions, no decimals, just normal counting numbers. So they're being really nice to us. But I want consecutive and I want only odd. So that would be like 3, 5, 7. 21, 23, 25. Those are examples of 3 consecutive odd integers. And it tells us their sum, meaning if we add them up, is 327. So let's make our 3 blanks again for our 3 consecutive integers. So I have no idea what the first one is. But whatever it is, pick any odd integer in the world. 11. What's the next one? 13. And guess what? That is 2 more, isn't it? 11 plus 2 is 13. And this one will be 4 more. 11, 13, 15. And so I add 4 to 11 to get 15. So those are my 3 consecutive, and if it were even integers, they would still be 2 apart. So if they were just consecutive integers, then you would have x plus 1, and x plus 2. But these are consecutive odd, so these are 2 apart. But it tells us their sum, so I'm going to add them up. I'm going to add x plus 2 plus x plus 4. And I know that they means equals 327. So combining like terms, I have 3 x's, and 2 plus 4 is 6. And then I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I have 321. And then I'm going to divide by 3. All of this just to get x alone. And again, once you do 2.1, you should be good at that. And that is 107. But look, the question says find the integers. So that's one of them. What's the next one? 107, 109, and 111. Those are 3 consecutive odd integers. And you could check, they should add up to 327. Alright, so that's 2.2. So go to work on that and see how you can do with your first story problems. You've got them. Hang in there.